Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you guys for joining me. Well, it seems apparent that more and more people are just going crazy. A man walked into a hospital in Southern California, a Southern California medical facility, and he stabbed a doctor and a nurse before inflicting himself with stab wounds. Now, this conflicts with the narrative of banning guns. Right off the back, this conflicts with the narrative of banning guns because we might as well go ahead and start banning knives. You've probably heard that before. But listen, I'm going to give you my deeper, detailed commentary on this, but I want to read this article. It's a very short article, and then we're going to go forward from there. So let's get right into this. The article starts off, in Los Angeles, a man stabbed a doctor and two nurses inside a Southern California hospital emergency ward on Friday and remained inside a room for hours before police arrested him, authorities said. The man walked into Encino Hospital Medical Center in the San Fernando Valley shortly before 4 p.m. Los Angeles police officer Drake Madison said. The man had parked his car in the middle of the street and went to the emergency room where he asked for treatment for anxiety before stabbing the doctor and nurses, authorities said. So it says, it has it in a plural, nurses. I may have said nurse, my mistake. Fire officials said 3 victims were taken to a trauma center in critical condition. Police later said one was in critical condition and underwent surgery. This is crazy. All 3 were later listed in stable condition at Dignity Health Northridge Hospital Medical Center. Thank God for that. The first floor of the Encino Hospital and some nearby offices were evacuated, police said. We've moved patients out of the danger zone, LAPD Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton said at a news conference. There was no evidence that the man knew the victims, Hamilton added. The man remained inside a room in the hospital for about 4 hours as SWAT team members tried to unsuccessfully negotiate with him before he was finally arrested, police said. He was taken to another hospital for treatment of self-inflicted injuries to his arms, authorities said. Wow. The man's name wasn't immediately released, but Hamilton said he had a lengthy criminal record. There you go. Lengthy criminal record. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that people without a lengthy criminal record can't go back crazy and start stabbing up people, shooting up people. But we're seeing an increase in these people with lengthy criminal records doing crazy criminal acts. So he had a lengthy criminal record, including 2 arrests last year for battery of a police officer and resisting arrest. Benjamin Roman, an ultrasound technician, told KNNBC TV that before the stabbing, he saw the man who had a dog with him and who might have been high on drugs because he looked anxious and was drenched in sweat. And that's interesting. He looked high on drugs. I kind of mentioned this whole concept in a previous video that perhaps one of the reasons why we got so much of these mass shootings and so forth and all these crazy things going on with people is because of the type of drugs that they may be taking. Remember, fentanyl is out on the streets. Heroin is out on the streets. I mean, there's an increase in this drug activity for whatever reason. So this can these drugs, we know, can alter people's minds and cause people to do crazy things. But let's go on. After the hospital issued an internal triage code, Roman said he saw a doctor and a nurse who had been stabbed. The doctor looked like she was in pain, he said. There was a lot of blood and it looked like he might have got her abdomen. The attack comes only 2 days after a gunman killed 4 people and then himself at a hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The assailant got inside a building on the St. Francis Hospital campus with little trouble just hours after buying an AR-style rifle, authorities said. The man killed his surgeon and 3 other people at a medical office. He blamed the doctor for his continued pain after a recent back operation. So you see the trend going on here? Let me first address what I believe to be, that's the end of that article there. But let me first address what I believe to be a trend. It seems to be a demonic trend, if you will, of people either hating what comedians are saying on stage and wanting to attack them right off the bat, or disappointed at something a doctor or someone in authority is doing and they decide to stab the person or shoot the person. But we are seeing an increase in acts of violence that are just unprecedented. We're seeing people just doing things off the top of their head that makes little or no sense. Something is going on here. But what I wanted to address here is the obvious counter argument of the Biden administration, who wants to ban AR-15s and even ban handguns. This counters that argument because, as the article says, as the title is of this video says, we might as well go ahead and ban knives. Because clearly he was able to stab at least two people with this knife. And I mentioned this before. One of the reasons why crazy people like this man and others like the guy in Buffalo, okay, and the other guy who killed all those children, use these guns to kill people is because they're more efficient. They're more efficient. It's quicker. You can do more with it. And that's why they use guns. The answer isn't banning guns. The answer is really leads to a question. Why are these people doing what they're doing? Is it mental illness? Is it drugs? Is it demonic possession? I know they're not going to talk about demonic possession, but I believe that as a minister, I believe that part of it is demonic. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that, but as a minister, I believe in demonic spirits. And I oftentimes can literally see these spirits. Well, I can not actually see the demons like per se with horns, but I can see certain things in people's eyes and the expression on them. I can see it on them that is demonic. So, but they're not, the mainstream media is not going to talk about that. But what I'm telling you, what else the mainstream media is not going to talk about, they're not going to really make this a national news story. It may be on your local news, but it's not going to become national. Why? Because it contradicts the narrative that guns are what's killing people. People kill people, not guns, not knives, not any of these other things that could be called assault weapons, because anything can be called an assault weapon. If you use it to hurt someone, that's an assault weapon. Let's be realistic. Here, obviously, he used a knife to assault a couple of doctors, and these people could have been killed. So this is not going to get national news coverage because it contradicts the narrative of taking guns, of banning guns, which shows you, in my opinion, there is an agenda. And I'm going to keep repeating that over and over and over again. They want to come after our guns. Why? Because they're trying to create a socialist government, which will merge into a communist government, which will merge into the United Nations quest, goal, and desire to create a one world government. That's what they want. It's all about power and control. Has nothing to do with protecting you, has nothing to do with protecting me. And until people understand this, until people get this, they're going to continue to vote for people like Biden and radicals like the radical left is right now, and bat crazy rhinos, Republicans in name only. They're going to continue to vote for these kind of people. But see, this is the kind of stuff. But you know what I've heard? I'm going to end this on this video. I'm going to end this video on this note. What I've been hearing and reading is that there's a red wave on the horizon. It seems to indicate or suggest that more and more people are voting for the Republicans rather than the Democrats. And I know I hate to say, because sometimes the Republicans are just as guilty as the Democrats. In many cases, a vast majority of them are controlled and owned by the lobbying groups and the multinational corporations that finance their campaigns. So they all, a lot of times, are the same. But I'm not going to get into that. But it seems people are siding with the lesser evil, for lack of a better word, than they are with the radical left. So that does seem to show a positive trend going on. Okay, so we got till November to see what's going to happen. But I just want to bring that. What do you guys think? Do you think that this guy stabbing these people changes the narrative of banning guns? We might as well ban knives now, right? What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, share this video, and subscribe. God bless you all, and see you again on Another Black Conservative with Ryan Boland.